Okay, are we live? Are we live? Yes, we are. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to one of my first live streams that I've done for a while on this channel. So, I haven't really been able to do many videos on this channel, so I've been pretty busy trying to bid out courses. Now, what I thought I'd do is for some of the course content that I want to build, and one of them is actually a chat application, I thought I'd actually go through the process of learning it while streaming online so that you guys can learn along with me, I guess. And basically, this is just going to be an exercise of me learning React. I've done a little bit of React before, but it's not something I've used regularly. So I'm going to learn React by building a chat application. Now, just a few things to get underway before I get started. I just want to quickly do some plugs. And the first thing I want to plug is that I now have a Twitch account over on Twitch where I'm actually doing the backend for this chat application, which is basically a chat server, which I'm building using Node.js and GraphQL. Now, I'm just doing that over on Twitch just to try something different rather than trying to stream on YouTube. So, primarily, I'm going to be doing a lot of my live streams over there. So, I suggest you go and check that out when I'm online. So I don't really have a clock, so to speak, in terms of when I'm going to be online. So, you can just basically hit that little bell thing and you'll know when I'm online because I'm not going to have a schedule for any of this. But I've basically done one video so far over there. So I basically built out a basic GraphQL server over on this channel. So that's the first thing I just wanted to quickly point out there. The other two things I just want to quickly point out is that I still have my two courses that are available on Udemy. I've got them on discount at the moment for the next 5 days. So you can get my CSS Grid, Mastering CSS Grid 2019, and my CSS Flexbox in Depth course for basically $9.99 USD. Now, my webpage is showing Australian dollars, but if you're in America, then it will be $9.99 USD. Okay, so all the links to all of these things are in the description of this live stream. So now I'm going to get started. So I'm going to actually build out this React application. So you've probably seen this chat application before on my channel, and if you've taken my course, you definitely would have seen it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this out using React from the very start. Okay, so what I've got at the moment is literally nothing. Okay, I haven't even got a basic folder structure or anything. I've just literally got Visual Studio Code opened up with the terminal, and I'm going to get started right from there. Okay, so let's do that, eh? So I'm going to come over to React, and I'm going to come over to let's go get started, and let's go try React and React website, and I'm going to use the create new React app executable. So I think there's a shortcut for this, and we'll go here. This page describes a few popular React toolchains, blah blah blah. Where is the here it is, npx. This is the line I want to use. So I'm going to make sure I'm in the right folder here, which I don't think I am at the moment. Nope. I'm going to go to my documents, and CD, and we're going to go to React. Cool. So in here, I'm going to create a new project. I'm not going to call it my app. I'm going to call it, let's go, chat app for now. And run this and see how we go. So I'm just doing the basic instructions here, create React app, and firing off this command. So then I'll do a CD once it's ready and npm start. And what else have we got on this page? NestJS, yeah, that's for static content, and Gatsby's the same. So no, we're going to be building dynamic content because we're going to be building an application. So I'm definitely going to utilize create React app and use Webpack and all those other things. We'll see how that command's going. It's still running. So the next step, I guess, is to go into the Hello World section. Once I've got this up and running, I'll just open up that tab. And I'm going to skip some of this stuff. If you already know React, then you probably don't need to go through all of this stuff. It's kind of pretty basic. I'm just going to skip past a lot of these things because I don't really care. I already know how this kind of works. So I'm just going to quickly check to see how this is doing. It's still running. So how to read this guide, blah, blah, blah. Let's get started. Next chapter of the guide. All right, this is just talking about JSX. I know what JSX is. It's more the formatting of things that I care about. So probably more setting up components. Yeah, I'm not too worried about any of this stuff. I'll come back to this page probably multiple times anyway when I'm not sure about something. I'm not going to be using React create element. I don't want to do it this way. Okay, there's whatever. I know there's props, that's fine. So rendering elements, what do we got here? Rendering elements into DOM. Let's say is a div with blah. Yeah, this is just using the React DOM.render, updating the rendered element. This is talking about a tick function. It's calling react.render, updating the root. And it's calling set interval. This is basic JavaScript stuff. React only updates when necessary. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I understand the fact that it only updates a very small portion of the DOM using, if I remember, there's some kind of virtual DOM or a DOM behind the scenes that gets created, a virtual one, and that's compared against the physical one, and then they only change what needs to be changed. Can't remember exactly how that works, but I know it's in there. So components and props is probably the first place I really care about. Function and class components. So I think the idea inside of React is that you try and stick to the functional ones. That seems to be the practice. I'm trying to see if there's any reference on that. Like, where is it? Or React. Like a style guide. Is there a style guide anywhere here? Main concepts. Thinking in React is probably the style guide. That's what I'm probably thinking of. Start with a mock. Yeah, okay. Right into component hierarchy. Bird state version in React. Yep. Props and state. Identify the minimal but complete representation of UI state. Identify where the state should live. And best info. Oh, no style guide on that. Cool. Rest, render props, static props, strict mode. Didn't really mention anything about functional components versus class-based ones. I thought they, or maybe it's under hooks. Hooks are a new addition to React 16.8. They let you state and other React features without running class. Yeah, so I'm going to basically try and stick to these hooks because I'm building a new app. Anyway, let's go back to the main concepts. We're looking at components and properties probably. And finally, we've got it started. So now I'll just go cd chat app and then npm start. Oh, hang on, before I do that, I should actually open the project. So I put it in my React folder and chat app. Open. Cool. So our public folder, I understand this is where the deployed application will go. So I'm not too worried about that. Not at this stage anyway. So we've got our app.js. Just got all that basic crap. Cool, let's just run this. So I'll get the terminal up. I'm pretty sure I'm in the right folder. Yep, npm start. Just to make sure that I can actually run this damn thing. Fetching data for better TypeScript IntelliSense. But this is not written in TypeScript. Come on. Wants to access. Yep. Come on, run it, run it. Oh, it's slow. Wow. Oh, finally. Oh, it's different. So edit source app.js and save to reload. So let's just make sure that's all working. So I'll just put editor and save. And editor. Cool. Looking good. All right. So let's come and have a look at what we've got over here. Components let you split the UI into independent UI. I already know what a component is. I've done Angular. Function and class components. Well, as I said, I want to try and stick to functional ones, I think. Even though this has a render method. We'll try and stick to the functional ones as much as we can. The other two components are equivalent from React's point of view. I'll render a component. Const element, blah. Element. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Composing components. Yeah. So that's talking about a function, app. So I guess the first thing I really just want to do quickly here is we've got all this app stuff, div, class name, app. Let's just grab my HTML that I've got over here. So all the HTML I've got for my web application or my chat application. So this thing here, I'm just going to grab that and I'm just going to throw that into here. So it's going to be huge. And then I'm going to have to update all the places that have class name, a class with class name, I believe. Because I think this is going to fail right now. Yeah. Logo is defined but never used. Okay, where's logo? Trash logo. No, it can't be it. Oh, okay, it's talking about this. That's fine. Save. href attribute requires a valid value to be accessible. Alright, so which one are they referring to? 8513. Oops. What the hell? Why is it? I'll just scroll up to 85. 8513. So that's, well, if we think about it, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. Well, so they're basically talking about this anchor element. So they requires a valid value to be accessible. Well, you know what? Let's just remove the href for now. And it still wants it. Okay, I'm just going to replace it to a span. We'll deal with the making an anchor tag later. Cool. Let's have a look at what we've got here. Okay, it looks like garbage, but that's fine. So now I'm going to grab my CSS and we'll copy all that. And we'll grab my app dot. I don't want any of that stuff. So all that stuff can go. Save. Ooh. What's the component about here? Images. Okay, yeah, I don't have my images. That's fine. Copy that for now. And we'll just paste that here. Still doesn't like my images. Dot images. Oh, it doesn't go up the directory. So dot images. Yep. So we'll just go /images. Cool. All right. So the images aren't working, but that's probably because of the fact that let's try and at least get the background image for the input to work. There it is. And then I'll come into my app.js, and wherever there's a images. Okay, interesting. They're all failing. Yet they're all images. Is there images profiles? Yeah, images profiles. So what if I put a / here? So hopefully we can see Sarah now. Nope. Interesting. It's complaining about class name. Class. Do I mean class name? Okay. So that's fine. So the quickest answer for this is class. Replace it with class name. Cool. Forced reflow while executing JavaScript took 72 seconds. So is this still complaining? Let's try to standard images again. Nope. Oh, maybe it has to be in a certain folder structure. Does it say anything about images? Alrighty. First challenge here. My images aren't working. That's my original. I have a feeling that these images are meant to be. What if I was to copy, go public, and paste it in there? Let's see if they come up now. Nope. So that didn't help. What else can I do? Oh, do I have to include like a .svg? First challenge, eh? Did it not? Oh yeah, did copy the image. Loading images in React development server. No, not so. Oh, let's have a load local images. When using Webpack, you need to require images in order for Webpack to process them, which would explain why external images load while internal ones do not. So instead of using image source equals blah, you need to use image source equals require. Seriously? But how to import require? Alright. That's fine. So basically what it's saying is for now, I'm going to have to require them to come in or import them in. That's a bit crappy. So I have to go require. Try it with just one, and then I'll go in and fix the rest after. That's my current app. Oh, didn't like that. Didn't like the. Maybe I need to. like that. Oh, there we go. Ah, there's my image. Bingo. All right. So now I have to do that for all the bloody others. Okay, so images, profiles. So let's do that. So we'll find that. And we're going to use the same thing, except we're going to put a forward like that. Replace all those to start off with. And then we'll probably have to come through and... Oh, hang on. Like that. Oh, wait. Undo. I have to add the require bit first as well. There we go. And then I can go like that on the end of all these. We will eventually build components for this, so I don't have to keep doing this crap over and over and over. But for now, I just want to get the application in play. Why did that one not get changed? Interesting. Oh, because I already tried something, that's why. So grab that all the way to there. Oh, got an error. Alt. Oh, hang on, no, I missed one. Which one did I miss? 100. Oh, 100. I missed this one. Is there any others? I must have missed a few. Whoops, wrong way around. Missed that one. And that one. And we'll just leave it at that for the moment. Okay, so it's complaining about... I'll have the messages, but where's the one with Sarah? Conversation. Stand yours, Sarah. Okay, cool. So this one needs the little dot thing, does it? Okay. Oh, check that out. We're getting there. So now I just need to delete conversation and the add attachment to have it self fixed up before we can move on. So that's this here. So we'll add the end bit first. And then we'll add the front, which is source equals this. Oops. And then require. Yeah. Require. Oh, sorry. Equals. Require. And then it's like that. Cool, so that's that. And then lastly, the little bin, which is up here. There it is. So require. That should do it, hopefully, no? That should do it. And there it is. Cool. All right. So we've got the HTML and the CSS in. So we've got our app. It's running in React. I can look at it. I can see the div root here. And then everything else is kind of placed below that. So we now need to go ahead and create our first component. Now I've got our main app component. The main app component will basically, at least for at this point in time, we'll probably create just the chat container. Yeah, no, actually no. What we might do is create a component for the overall chat container and throw everything else inside it. So, what's the structure going to look like? Or what do they recommend? You know what? For now, just because I want to get things into components, I'm just going to create whatever structure I feel like, and then we can refactor it later. So I'm going to create a folder on the source for now, and just call it chat, and then I'll have a folder called shell, and then I'll just have chat shell.js. That'll do for now. And then I'm going to have a function that returns something. So the funny thing is, this chat shell is now going to pretty much return everything that's in here. So I'm going to grab this. Like so. This is my render function. And as funny as it sounds, I'm now going to grab everything that's in here, like so, and put it over in here. Which is kind of like, well, what's the point of that, you know? Well, there wasn't really one, to be honest. But I want to get everything running first before I move stuff around. So now this is going to break. I need to import React. Like so. And I need to also create a CSS file, at least for the moment, chat shell.css. And I'm going to grab pretty much everything that's inside of here except for the body stuff. So all of this down. I'm now going to cut this out. Actually, I'll leave the scroll thing at the bottom there because I want that style to apply no matter which scroll section comes up. So we'll put that in. Now this all goes in here. This is not called app. We'll call this chat shell, like so. And we'll import. How do I do it again? Like that. So this will now be chat shell.css. And then I need to export this like I've exported the app. So down the very bottom, chat shell. Now it's still complaining in that, but that's fine. Because I'm now going to import this. Import chat shell from chat shell. And then I'm just going to create a dummy element like that. And hopefully, well, I thought that would work. Chat shell is not exported from, really? Oh, sorry, I did it as a default, didn't I? Now it should be fine. No? Oh, hang on. Cannot resolve. Oh, yeah, because I've moved stuff. Christ. Images attachment logo. So now I've got to go and refactor all those links. And before I do that, though, attachment. No, was it SVG? Can I do that? Hopefully that will work. So in chat shell now, where I've got /. I just now need to make that dot slash. No, dot slash. Dot slash. So up 2 directories, I believe. So let's replace that. And save. Nope. Oh, idiot. Did this one up here as well. Finally. Cool. So let's see what my React app is doing. Looks pretty good. It's still working. So now I'm in a position where I can break this down even further. Oh, wait a minute. This image over here stopped working. Is that because I went in and changed this when I didn't need to? Nope. I think I need to go dot slash. Yeah, I think that's what it's after. There we go. Rightio. So now I'm going to break this down into components. So I'm going to have a search component here. I'm going to have a conversation list component here. I'm going to have my, well, the link is broken down here at the moment, but there's an anchor element here, which will be a new conversation button. Then I got my chat title, my chat message list area, and then my chat form. So with that said, I'm now going to create more subfolders inside of chat. So we'll start off with conversation. No, I'll just call it search. Just call it search. Create a chat search.js. Now I don't know about convention with React. I can come back later and clean it up. And I also want a chat search.css. And just thinking out aloud a little bit, I'm probably going to, well, I'll import this into this one. So let's do that now. So I'm gonna, import, we'll do it above the CSS. Import, we'll go chat search. It's gonna break at the moment from dot slash search. And then, whoops, chat search. We'll leave that for the moment. That's going to break, but that's fine. It's never used. And now I'm going to create a function inside of chat search. I'm going to call it chat search. And export default chat search. And then I also need the React bit here. And this needs to return something, and it will. It's going to return basically the search bit, which is this right here. In fact, I'm going to cut it out right now. So I'm going to put this in here. We'll worry about setting it all up for bindings and stuff later. But now I just want to get it rendered. Chat search is defined but never used. That's fine. I need to also import chat search.css. I haven't got that with anything in it yet, but that's fine. Now I come to chat shell. And I'm going to put, what did I call it? Chat search. Like so, and save. And that doesn't change anything, which is correct. That's a good thing. But I do want to grab the search container stuff. So this here, and all of this stuff. Like so. I'm going to get rid of all this from out of here. And save. So that should break it. Does. If I now put that in here instead. And why is this all pushed over? Why is that pushed over? Oh, that's annoying. Damn tabbing. Damn tabbing. Cool. And I think there was some more CSS that was in the chat shell as well. So I don't want that anymore. I just want to have that for the moment. Just look for the word search anywhere else. That's fine. We'll keep that there for the moment. Right, so that color's gone, but I'm about to add that back. Let's add that. Just need to grab that color actually. Grab that, and we'll throw it under the grid area definition, and we'll clear this out and save. And cool, so that's one component down. So far so good. Now we're going to do the conversation list part. So is where we'll have, again, I'll refactor these folders later, but conversation list. Or I could just say conversation, and then in here I'll have conversation list.js. Oh, not a folder. Conversation. I think it's like that actually, .js. I don't know, guys. Actually, I'll keep it hyphen because that's what I've done for the other file, I think. Or the other two. I put dashes. Probably not the right convention, not sure, but it is what it is. We'll fix it up later. So conversation list.css. And now I'm going to basically grab my search, because basically I'm going to use a very similar style to that. So the difference is I'm going to have a conversation -list CSS file. This will be called conversation list, and we'll have different content, but we'll worry about that in a second. And then paste. Cool. And then I need to come to my shell. So we've got a chat shell. I'm now going to grab all of this stuff. So I'll just close it off like so. Just cut this out. Why that happens, I don't know. It wouldn't let me grab it just like this. Did that time. So that's probably broken badly. Yeah, see that bit's gone. But we're going to whack that in here. And just going to clean up the tabbing a bit. So if I save this now I need to refer to it inside of here. So let's search. And this becomes conversation. Oh, Jesus. Conversation list from conversation list. Like so. And that gets rendered under the chat search. Oh, for crying out loud. What? And that's capitals, not something like that. So hopefully that brings back the conversation list. Cool. That's fine. So now I need to just grab the CSS for all this. It's in the shell. So we've got our conversation list bit here. Like so. So I'm going to cut that out. Put it in here. Did I cut it out? I didn't cut it out. Interesting. And I'm going to grab this and remove that selector. So that's going to break. Yep, so that breaks for the conversation list itself. But if I come over to my conversation list CSS and I throw in that background color, actually I'll do it after the grid area. Save. Cool. So that's that. And now there was still more conversation stuff to go in there. So conversation active, hover, image, title text created. All this stuff is to do with conversation. So we grab all that. Take that out. It's going to break everything there now. That's fine. That's what we want. And then conversation list, CSS. Whack that in here. And I won't worry too much about the formatting right now because I'm probably going to move it anyway. And there we go. So we're back to square one for that. So let's quickly check the chat shell.css again. Make sure there's nothing else in here that I want for conversation list. It doesn't look like there is. That's good. Fantastic. All right. So we've got the top quadrant, top left. We've got the middle. We've got the middle left, and now we're going to do the bottom left, which is the new conversation button. So let's deal with that. So we've got conversation. I'm going to put another JavaScript file. I may break this out into subfolders later. New conversation.js, and in the same folder, new conversation.css. Cool. And I'm going to grab the conversation. No, it's too big, that one. Let's grab everything in here again. And once again, update this line to be now new conversation.css. And we'll call this new conversation. And we'll worry about the content soon. So, new conversation. Nice. Now I'll go to the chat shell and grab the new conversation bit, which is this bit here. So cut that out. So it's going to break the application, but that's fine. And now I'm going to come up to my new conversation and I'm going to replace what's in this return statement with that. For now, save. Cool. And that should, I won't come back yet because I haven't added it. So we'll have new conversation here. And we need to add that as an import. So new conversation. I don't know why I kept the list part. And new, yep, that. So run this. And cool, it's back. And I'm going to start closing some files here because it's starting to get a little messy. So basically I want to open the new conversation CSS and the chat shell CSS. And I'm going to grab all this stuff. Save. And so that's going to blow it up again. That's fine. But when I throw this in here and save, it's back. Cool. So that's the left-hand side pretty much done for now. Now it's going to require more refactoring. So, we're going to eventually need a component for each conversation. But I just want to get the 6 main sections bit done for this stream before I actually end it. So that's that bit done. So now we'll move on to the right-hand side, which is the chat section. So if I come to my shell, we're going to get the chat title. All right, so close the conversation. So we've got chat. Maybe I'll just create a folder called chat title. I don't know. We'll work out the structure later that makes more sense. Chat title.js and chat-title.css. Cool. And now just to simplify my world, I'll just grab the chat search stuff again. So just copy that. Chat title, whack that in. Change this to chat title. This will be chat title. And it'll be exposed as chat title. Cool. Now come in to the shell. And I'll grab the chat title for real. So here will be chat title. It's not referenced yet, but it will be. And then we'll paste in the chat title here. Beautiful. And save that. And now I just need to refer to it in the chat shell. So just grab another import here. Chat title. Chat title. And it's called chat title. So hopefully everything's good now. You can still see that up there, beautiful. Now I need to come into the shell. We're going to grab everything to do with chat title. So grab all that stuff. I'm pretty much going to grab, let's grab this to start off with. Like that. There's nothing else I have down here, right? So that's pretty much all the stuff at the top here. So that's going to blow up. Boom. Okay, cool. That's fine. We'll come into chat title. Whack it in there. Beautiful. Back to normal. And then we'll grab the other bits that we have left over. So we're going to have a background here. And we're going to remove that. So that should now break. Looks a little too white. Yep, so it broke. So just under all the grid stuff, where the color is, I'll just add the background. Just make sure that's still working. Cool, fantastic. And back to chat shell, we have an image theme with cursor.pointer on it. If I take this away, so at the moment, yeah, that no longer has a cursor.pointer. It's fine. So I'll come to chat title. Whoops. I forgot to grab the selector. It'll be basically that with chat title, I'm assuming. Now I will change this to use SCSS later. Right now I'm just getting it in bare bones. Can always add all the other cool stuff later. So that now should have cursor again. And it doesn't. But there's this one. And it's probably because I'm using this mobile mode thing. Now it does. Cool. Excellent. Well done. All right. So we're nearly there. So we've got our chat title. Now I want my message list for my shell. So this whole message list area, that's going to have to go into its own component. So that's basically this whole area here. So I'm going to create a messages folder, I guess, or message folder. Message, and we'll go message list.js, and let's say, oops, not a folder, message list.css. Once again, I'm starting to get too many files open, so I'll close a few. Grab the JavaScript from where I normally get it from, which is this one here, because I'm lazy. We're just going to grab it. I'm going to import message list CSS. I'm going to call this message list. And export message list. Beautiful. Come to my chat shell. Grab all the JSX for my message list. And say we're going to import chat message list. I just called it message list, didn't I? Message list. Like so. And come back over to my message list and throw that in there. And then we'll just refactor some things. Beautiful. And message list is not defined. That's fine. So we're about to define it. Message list from message list. That fixes that. Beautiful. All right, so we've got the component showing. Now we just need to deal with the CSS for this. So leave chat form and chat image in there, and chat container will stay. So message row is part of a message list, so is message content. All of this stuff, all the way down to here at least. Gonna cut all that out. And the last two bits are for the, whoops, no. There's something before that. Chat message list is before that. So from chat message list all the way down to where chat form starts. Save all that. My chat message list is going to look terrible, which is what is expected. But if I come over to my message list.css and save, we're back to what we had. Bingo, beautiful. All right, so that's 5 of the 6 components done. So my shell now is starting to look a little bit more respectable. You know, it's just a div class chat ID chat container, and then a bunch of child components. And then our main app component is literally just at this point using the chat shell. We might have more later, but for now that's all we're doing. And then I'm assuming inside of index.js we're just rendering that app to the root. Pretty lightweight now. We're getting there anyway. So we have message. So now I'm going to have the chat form. So this last little bit down here, we'll create that into a component, and then I might stop the stream for today. So I'm going to have chat form, and I'm going to add chat form.js, and in the same folder, chat form.css. Beautiful. And then I'm going to come to my search like I always do, grab that, and chat form. My brain is shut off there for a second. So chat form CSS, and now we just need to get the form data from this, or form HTML from here. Cut that out and put it into our return statement here, like so. Now that's not going to show up yet in the shell, so it's going to be empty, and it is. So what I'm going to do now is basically grab or go to my chat shell and import it. So it almost looks the same as this one here. So we'll just go chat form and chat form, chat form. Come on. I don't know why it wasn't replacing that then. And then I grab this and in that empty slot there, save. There it is. Okay. So the last thing we need to do is come to basically grab all the rest of this CSS here. So the only thing left in this CSS file for the shell is the ID selector for chat container, which is pretty much all I want in there. So now if I come to my chat form.css, seeing as we've broken it here, and I pump it in, and I come back, and bingo, we have the form back to what it was. So what have I done in this session? Well, basically I grabbed my HTML template, which was all the way over in another instance. This stuff came from my CSS grid, Mastering CSS Grid course. So I just quickly grabbed the HTML, the CSS, and the images. I put them into a new React application that I use using create react app, I think is the command. So I initialized a new React application using create react app. I threw in the images. I took all the HTML, I threw it inside of app.js just to begin with, and also all the CSS went into app CSS. And then I basically got it all running so that it looked like this, and then I started breaking it down into components that I now have in this chat folder. So I have 6 of them. I have 6 of them. So there's the overall shell, and then we've got, or is it 7? Sorry, I've got 7 of them. We have the overall shell, which is this shell on the outer side here. And then we have the search. So that's this section up here. Then we have the conversation list, which is this bit here. In the same folder, we have the new conversation component. So that represents this baby down here. In fact, I'm on the wrong window because that's still broken down here. That's this bit down here. And then we moved on and created a chat title component. So that represents this section up here. And we have the message list component. So that's all of this here. And then finally, we added the chat form. So that's this bit down here. So for each component, we added the HTML that we required to spit out just by having a basic function. So we're just using functions for the components at this stage and returning basically the HTML for each component. And then I've got a CSS file for each component that contains the CSS for that particular component. Cool. So that's all I'm going to do in this session. In the next session, I'll probably refactor further. I haven't really thought about what I'm going to do next, but we'll refactor the code further. Maybe, take this conversation list here and start creating a component for each conversation. And the same over here for the message list. We'll create a component for each individual message. Anyway, that's where I'm going to finish, guys. I'm now going to go over to Twitch, and I'm going to work on the GraphQL server aspect of this application. So if you happen to see this video and I'm still online, just come over to Twitch. I've got the information in the description, and come see me building out the GraphQL server. Anyway, I'm going to finish it there, guys. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.